Today we're starting part one of a two-part series on Brooklyn's Chinatown. Spanning over 30 blocks in Sunset Park, it's not well advertised and has some of the tastiest cheap eats in New York City. We'll be trying everything from unnamed street food stalls to a 1980s looking mall food court and more. Let's get off the eaten path in New York's unknown Chinatown. All right, I'm pretty excited. This is my first time ever in Brooklyn's Chinatown, and I'll be honest, I don't think most New Yorkers have even heard of this, which is a shame. And I think after watching a series of videos, you're gonna wanna visit for sure. Now let's meet our co-host.
Hey, what's up everyone? We're gonna explore some cheap eats today and check out Brooklyn Chinatown. This is a great place to be, and I'm excited.
Apparently, an amazing tofu stall with no name.
I know, this is crazy, but it's got no name and it probably has the best tofu pudding in all of New York City. And I've tried it a few times. We're about to try it again.
Let's check this out.
3 small tofu pudding.
You can tell it's gonna be a good video because we're starting with dessert. You know, we're completely going out of order here. And if this is the best tofu pudding in New York City on a random corner here in Brooklyn, then I would say that this should be fun. All right, let's try this. It's so warm and comforting, and it's not really that filling actually. So I think after a big meal, a dessert like this actually be really, really good.
And this is a ginger syrup. And what it does is it gives it a very slight sweetness, not overwhelming, and the tofu is very soft. It's nice and warm too. Perfect to really warm yourself up, especially on a cold day like today.
I was thinking the exact same thing. It's in the 50s, it's really feeling like fall right now. This would be a nice cap to a long day of eating. We're just doing it backwards. I mean, we're doing dessert first, but I don't mind. What's your favorite Chinese dessert?
Probably the egg tarts.
Which will be coming up in part 2.
Yeah, we have a part 2 coming out. We're gonna get the best egg tarts in New York City.
I don't think enough people realize how many little ecosystems there are in New York City. And I shouldn't call this little because this is over 30 blocks of Chinatown. But there's so many worlds like this out there that your average tourist wouldn't even think to come here. And this is a spot that until the 1990s was not even Chinese.
I know. It was actually Norwegian up until about the 1960s, and then it became abandoned. And they didn't really know what to do with the area until the Chinese moved in. It was first the Cantonese immigrants in the 90s who came here from like the Hong Kong area and Guangdong. And then in the early 2000s, another wave of Chinese immigrants came to this area from the Fujian region of China. And now this is pretty much mostly Fujianese businesses along the stretch.
We're in front of a lucky 8. Well, we said 8 was a lucky number in Chinese. We're on 8th Ave, and we're gonna get some meat over rice, keeping it simple.
Yeah, this place is known for their Cantonese roast meats. They got everything from the roast pork, the squid, the ginger scallion chicken, and roast duck.
There was not a single word of English in there. So they do speak English though, but no English on the menu, so you need to know what to ask for.
Yeah, basically you can just point at it, say, hey, I want this roast pork with rice and vegetables.
See, they just assumed we were gonna share this with our big family. We got 4 forks.
Yeah, Chinese roast pork. We normally eat it as part of like a celebration. Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year holidays, Autumn Festival. We have a big plate of roast pork, but you can eat it pretty much any day if you want.
All right,
That's
ready?
a big one.
Let's do it. Lots of flavor. Little barbecue. Oh, there we go. We're leaving our trail of cookie crumbs all over Chinatown. Feel a little smoky flavor, a little barbecue, a little something.
Cut of meat they used was very lean. I didn't really taste too much fat in it, but you can always ask them for a different cut of meat if you want more fat in it or not.
I think this is
But
perfect. With
it's
all the
good.
food we're eating in this video, you know, less fat the better. When you think of neighborhoods in New York for the best cheap eats, always Chinatown comes up. Even in Manhattan, and Chinatown is surrounded by some extremely expensive neighborhoods. Why is Chinese food always so affordable in the city?
A lot of these immigrants, they didn't really have too much money to start off with, so they feel like they're giving back to the community by having prices very low.
So this is it. It looks like we're about to eat at somebody's house.
It does. Yi Xiaochi. It's a Fujianese restaurant, and we're in a Fujianese Chinese Chinatown neighborhood, and we have to try out their cuisine. So let's go for it.
Let's do this. Is anyone here?
Yeah, someone's here.
They're open, I think. We had to get their attention.
Yeah. Hi, can we get the noodle with peanut sauce?
Peanut noodle.
Huh?
Peanut noodle.
Peanut noodle?
I have to say, I don't know where you find these places. They get more random as we go, but we're not going to judge a book by its cover. What we have here is a little carb overload. We've got the peanut sauce, and it's at the bottom, so we're mixing it together.
Yeah, they must have dripped it in and all the sauces at the bottom.
So I've had the famous peanut noodles at Suzhou Fuzhou Cuisine in Manhattan's Chinatown. I'm gonna be curious how these compare. You ready?
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Got a big pull there.
I know, too much.
Look at that. Look at that. This is a Mikey Chen noodle pull here. Okay, now I'm gonna take a big bite. It's really good. The one in Manhattan, I think it's got a stronger flavor, which I prefer personally, but I'm someone that likes a really sweet, flavory sauce. This is more understated.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more light. But which one gives you more noodles? I don't know.
I think these guys might give more noodles. I don't think anyone in my life has ever given me this much noodles, period. I think I need a nap after this, though.
It's carb overload.
Oh my goodness, it is.
Look at this.
All right, I could dig this. I feel like we're in an 80s mall food court.
It used to be a lot more busy, but with COVID.
Yeah, it's not too busy, but I think that could have to do with indoor dining and people trying to avoid it.
One order of pork soup dumpling?
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
550.
I was thinking this is different. I'm not used to seeing soup dumplings coming in this type of a carton.
It looks like a Italian food container.
We're not going for presentation here. We're looking for taste. That is the most important thing. Taste and value, not presentation. So let's try this.
So go ahead.
We got some vinegar on the side. You have to be careful with soup dumplings because if you bite it the wrong way, you can burn your tongue. It's happened to me a couple times. All right, you want to try this?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, 1, 2, 3. I did it in 2 bites. Better than I expected. By no means the best I've ever had, but good for a random mall food court, we could say.
Yeah,
Curious
for
what you-
$5.50.
For $5.50, I'm curious what you think.
Less than $1 each. Well, I have to say the skin, I think it was a little bit thick, but it still has a good flavor. The soup is all there. Let's go for the meat. You know what? The meat is really good. It's very flavorful. Has very good substance to it, and you even saw them making it in the window. Great.
I'd like to give a special thanks to the members of my Patreon for helping us support these local businesses. All of the money that I collect from my Patreon, I spend on videos like this. If you're interested in joining, getting some cool perks like maps, I put every single place we've ever visited on a map available to my Patreon members. Check it out. Link in the description. Thanks a lot, guys.
Now, would it be disrespectful if I Asian dad this, or?
Wow, he's going all Asian dad in this.
I'm gonna do a non-Asian dad style. I wanna see like the soup like dripping out like John.
Oh, you want to do the John Barr style? You sure?
Yeah.
That's called John Barr style.
If you eat a John Bar style, that's how you unleash the full potential of the soup dumpling.
I want to thank ActionKid for being an amazing guide to part 1 of this video. You did great.
Oh, thanks, John, for having me on the channel again. Hope you enjoyed this cheap eats guide to Sunset Park, Brooklyn, and stay tuned for part 2.
Part 2 coming up soon. If you thought we went off the eaten path in part 1, just wait for part 2, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, till next time.